Say welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out and joining us today. This is the first time we're hosting an event like this where we're providing a speaker series and educating you about what's available to better support our older adults out in the community. So it's my pleasure to welcome all of you. My name is Tyrell, and I am a dementia consultant and educator. And I'll be a speaker later today, so I'll say a little bit more about myself shortly. But the hosts of today are two companies. The first is TopTech. I hope a lot of you had a chance to come around and see some of their amazing products that do help and enhance the lives of our older adults, as well as the Tyrell systems. And the Rod will be speaking as well. It has a booth over at the back on this side, and he'll be able to explain all about his products that he provides. So I just want to say with TopTech, and Jessica will be speaking shortly, I have known this company since spring of 2016, and I remember meeting them in a coffee shop when they wanted to explain about their prototype, the Smart Turns, which is around the corner over here. You've had a look at it. And I'm just looking back at how time flies. You know, I can't even believe we're 2022. What about you? Looking back, 2016, yeah, I know, November. So it's just amazing for me to be associated with TopTech and getting to know Rod now this year and the types of unique systems that he has available. It really is nice to see the human side and technology coming together to make a positive difference. And so I want to thank you all for being here, because I think the goal for today was to bring together people who are interested in continuing to make positive change in their environments, wherever you may be working. And so bringing you together, but also to assist in broadening your mindset on other ways to provide care. And maybe from today, you can go back with new ideas that are going to be developing for you for either your current situations or the future. And so again, thank you for being here. There we go. So you would have received this invitation. I think we did a personal invitation to all of you, so we're happy that you're able to be here. Our agenda, just so that you are aware of what we're going through today. We've had some networking and learning a little bit of our products, and I wanted to make sure we stay on time, so I'm sorry to have interrupted you. But to know that the snacks are here till the end, so please continue to help yourself. There's lots and refreshments. And hopefully you've gotten to meet a few people to do a little bit of networking with each other, because there's a variety of different sectors, different organizations here today. So it would be great to network again when we're finished. So I will be your MC. I'll also be speaking next. And then after I speak, we'll bring Jessica up to share a little bit about standing out with innovation in technology is her topic, and she'll be having Lisa, who will be joining her and sharing that overview for you today. And then we'll be inviting Rod. I'm not sure your last name. I'm so sorry. I might butcher this. Abichan? Obichon. It's French, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And he'll be talking about leading edge versus bleeding edge, a delicate balance for technology at your site. And then we'll end with some Q&A after Rod and prizes. So some prizes will be given away that we have up here as a thank you for joining us. All right, so a little bit of housekeeping. There are 2 washrooms here. Oh, there's some more folks coming in. And I hate to say this, and I don't mean to criticize the organizers of this wonderful building, but those washrooms would not be ideal for dementia care. I'm just saying. Just saying. Just know that I did not help design those washrooms. But welcome, everyone. But the washrooms are here for you, and again, please help yourself at any time. We are recording today this presentation. If you are concerned about crossing through the camera, just let us know. But to all the folks that are watching afterwards, thanks for being here. Great. So moving along.
Receipt saved.
As we're getting folks settled, I'm curious, and I haven't had a chance to get to know you, what your role is in the senior care industry. So just wondering if we do have any frontline workers. I'm going to start at the bottom. Is there anybody who's frontline? Oh, that's great. We've got some folks. Frontline, amazing. Glad to hear. 4 individuals. Amazing. What about owners of companies? Whether they're owners of care homes, we've got owner and frontline. Yes. Oh my goodness, we'll have to talk. That's amazing. Okay, so what about general managers of some sites? Is there any general managers? I think you're like a general manager, area directors, that sort of thing. Management positions of some sort? Yeah, management positions. Okay. Any directors of cares? There we go, directors of cares. Yeah, but it's still a management type of role. Managers of cares. Okay. And other managers was on the list. So did I miss some different types of individuals that want to raise their hand and shout out their role? Yeah. So pretty much we have a few frontline, but most people are in somewhat of a management role. And that's helpful because as managers, there's a lot on your shoulders. Would you agree? A lot on your shoulders. And there's a lot that comes with being the management, trying to manage the front line, trying to manage and keep our clients, customers happy, as well as pushing for change. And would you say that can be a little bit of a challenge? Pushing for some change? Some people think that sometimes it's a delicate balance, and we're going to hear more of pushing forward into the new age and incorporating technology in our worlds later from Rob. So, all right, so I'm glad you are here. I'll just give a little background about where I've come from. My passion is certainly in the world of dementia care. I've been in the senior care industry for over 27 years. I started my company, Dementia Solutions, when I first moved to BC in 2009. I saw lots of gaps, and I couldn't sit and wait for change to happen by government, by other people. And I just took the bull by the horns and says, I'm going to make change. And so I am supporting families one-on-one when they're stuck on a Saturday evening, Sunday evening, Tuesday evening, at any time, Monday to Friday is not my schedule. I work anytime families are struggling and they need support as a dementia consultant. And it's very fulfilling to be there for them in the moment, especially when there's people hiding in the closet texting me, what do I do now? So those types of scenarios I am helping with, and also educating. I love to do the education in dementia care. I am the author of the book, which we'll be giving away later, Cracking the Dementia Code, creative ways to help cope with those changed behaviors we see often with individuals who are affected by dementia. I was part of the design team for the very first dementia village here in the Lower in Canada, and it was in Langley, BC, the village Langley. And I've been quite busy co-creating the new adult cognitive wellness center in their programs that are branching out in different communities. Very passionate, as I said, about dementia care. And we're going to be talking today about how we can combine safety with dementia care. Now, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying to make sure we stick on schedule. Of course, there's so much more details I can go into, but just letting you know, we're just keeping it high level, but if you have questions, don't be shy. I'll answer the questions as we go through today. Does that sound fair? All right, deep breath. Are you ready? I'm going to start with stats, only because it's not getting easier. We are seeing more and more people who are aging, living longer, and developing symptoms of dementia. And I wish there was more that can be done. I wish there was more support. I wish there was more passionate people in this industry who are available and who are well trained in order to deliver the best practices. So according to the Alzheimer's Society of Canada, we are looking at over 500,000, but in 2030 we are going up to almost 1,000,000 people affected, and 2030 is not far away. 1 in 5 Canadians are, caring or supporting someone who is affected by dementia. And I remember when the stats were out in 2016, when I shared a slide very similar, the number was 25,000 new cases every year, and it jumped up last year to 75. Or 76,000 cases every year in Canada. And again, that's where I'm worried that we need more support, more services, and more educated people in this world about dementia. So dementia care, so just giving a couple of stats that I was able to bring forward, and I think a lot of you who are in the seniors industry know this already, that approximately 80% of people living with dementia are living in long-term care. And of all the people in long-term care, there's only about 20% who are not affected by dementia, and that is iffy for certain homes. Some homes will say higher. So 80% is the approximate, and in independent assisted type living locations, according to a stat from the United States, it's showing about 42% are also living in that type of living environment with symptoms of dementia. So what does this tell you? This tells you we need, again, more supports, because families are not sure what to do when mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, whoever it may be, a loved one who's in the community and not wanting supports to come in, not wanting help. They're struggling at home. They're not able to keep, eating properly, taking their medications, going to their appointments, doing a variety of day-to-day things. Therefore, they're encouraging them to move into an assisted living type environment. And unfortunately, the assisted living environments can only do so much with their realm. And so we're filling up the system, and the system, of course, of long-term care is full, and the wait lists are there, and people are waiting to get in. So we're seeing this backlog grow, and it's just going to get worse. And this is where we're going to need a variety of home-like environments. We're going to need a variety of services in the home and the community that can keep up with this rising demand. Now, when we were going through COVID, there was a member survey that came out from Safe Care BC. Because of COVID and the challenges that were going on, I don't know if everyone was able to have a chance to really dissect and read this member's report that came out. And a new report hasn't been since, but I just want to share with you some of the feedback from the frontline workers through the organizations associated with Safe Care BC. And if you're not familiar with Safe Care BC, they are the organization that just recently hosted the Hearts and Hands Conference. Was anybody at that Hearts and Hands Conference? I know you were. Okay, so no. So this conference was a way to bring together the frontline workers to show appreciation and also provide some education all in one day, and to lift their spirits and rejuvenate, recharge them before they went back to work. And I thought it was fantastic. This is just an overview of some of the stats that were collected of what the members wanted, or what their concerns were for their organization, so their workplace safety concerns. And I'm just going to highlight a couple of the key things that are related to safety. And so the one thing is safe resident handling, or safe client handling, was a big concern that they were showing. 45% of the survey reported that. Violence prevention was also another concern. We saw things like creating a culture of health and safety. Dementia care was also up there, about 31%, seeking more education in that area, and health and safety risk assessments. So these were just some of the top things that are related around that topic of safety. So when I, as a dementia consultant, look at these stats and put myself in the shoes when I used to work in long-term care, by the way, of my 27 years, 20 of it, approximately 20, was working frontline in long-term care. My background is in therapeutic recreation, and so that's where I come from that regard. But I've seen what happens on the front lines in long-term care, which is the majority of the respondents from this survey, but some are also from hospital. So the common safety issues from my angle, from my observations between Ontario and BC, are things like this. So falls, would you agree? Falls is a big concern we see, whether it's dementia care or not, but it's also associated with dementia care. We will be seeing often agitation happening, which can lead to aggression. And therefore, that violence is a concern from the frontline workers as some common safety issues. When people refuse care, has anybody experienced that? Yes. Refusing care is a concern that can cause some safety when we're in the middle of providing care or when we're trying to keep them clean and reducing infections, that sort of thing. There's some challenges here with refusing care. And then another big scary risk factor is when people go missing and they start to wander. We call it exit seeking, elopement, those types of terms. So these are just high level 4 areas that I wanted to touch on that I think you would agree are commonly known in the world of dementia care and safety. Right? And I'm sure you have other ideas, and I'd love to chat with you more, but because I'm so short with my time here, just sticking to these top 4. So right now I'm just going to go through the possible reasons for these top 4, just to open up our mindset. Possible reasons for falls. I'm going to share with you, maybe they're tired, maybe they're over-medicated, maybe there are tripping hazards around, maybe there is other agitated residents or aggressive residents that have caused a push of some sort or been a part of the reason for that fall. These are some situations that have arose in my past in watching what happens with falls. Just some examples. Oops. How do we fix that? There we go. When we talk about the agitation and the aggression, some possible reasons for that. Now I go deeper into figuring out the reason behind the behavior in my book, but noises, loud noise, I can hear all these beeping, that could be annoying someone. Negative triggers for that individual that is negative could cause them to become agitated. They're tired. I know some people can get grumpy when they're tired. They're not feeling independent, perhaps. They're being treated like a child. I need to do these things for you. You can't do them anymore, so they lose their independence. It could also be poor approaches by staff that are not well educated or are in a hurry or are feeling that they don't have any other way to approach because they haven't been taught. So that's a potential. And then they may have some worries. I need to go home. I need to do this. I need to feed the cat. I need to get my kids from school. All these past worries that are very common in dementia care that could surface on why this happens. So I'm going to share with you this slide, some highlights. I'm going to talk about the noise. I'm going to talk about being tired and poor approaches by staff. So just keep those in mind because I feel these are more of the higher end of the possible reasons, and there is common themes that are showing up. The other 2 reasons, refusing care. Once again, could it be the poor approaches by staff, not really engaging them in the best way possible to get that care done? Could it be because the person's uncertain, or they're worried, what are you doing to me, why are you doing this? Could it be that they're in pain? And could it be that they're also not happy that they're losing their independence? Or they're tired, they don't feel like getting dressed, that sort of thing. So those are just some possible reasons why. And then with the exit seeking, in these scenarios, it could also be that they're worried they have to get home to their family, or they're feeling as though they're in prison, or they're feeling as though they're at a hospital and they need to go home. They're not sick anymore. They want to go home. Could it be that the poor approaches from staff, again, could be happening, why they want to leave? And could it be some noises that are in the environment, or could there be some triggers that are happening for them that are making them say, I gotta get out of here, I don't want to be here anymore. Or, I'm tired, I'm going home now, and my day's done. So again, I'm going to highlight some of the themes from some of these. Again, poor approaches by staff, they're tired, there's some noises, those types of things. And I think those that have worked in long-term care would agree that these are pretty common reasons and common themes of why people are having these situations happen. So, common themes: noise, they're tired, some noises, and poor approaches by staff as we go deeper together on narrowing down some of those challenges. And when I reflect on these reasons, I know that there's possible solutions. And I won't have time to go deep on all of this, but looking high surface, if they're tired, perhaps more sleep, better sleep, good quality sleep can be implemented here. And there's all kinds of solutions for that, as well as the noises. And over time, I remember the years ago when we had the overhead paging, and that has stopped in a lot of long-term care homes. It still happens in hospitals, but not as much, I understand, in wings that are long-term care related, like PATH units. However, it's still happening, lots of noises, the carts, the medicine crunching of the medication still makes noises. Other residents making noises. There's lots of noises that go on in these types of environments that can still be causing some agitation. And I think more staff, the education and how to coach them on the best practices in the world of dementia care in order to alleviate some of those challenges that we've been seeing. I think knowledge is power. I really think it is power when people have that. So all I'm saying here is when we kind of dissect things and look at it from a different angle, there is hope. It's not like we can't fix some of these challenges. There are possibilities, but of course there's going to be a variety of solutions that will be needed. There'll also be a variety of people that need to come together to work together, not just management. We do need to involve the frontline workers with some solutions, and I think there's possibilities there, but it's putting that in our mind that there is solutions rather than, there's nothing we can do about it. And I think having that more positive outlook is more of a better way of looking at things, how we can make a difference. So just in case you weren't aware, I do offer 2 educational opportunities. If anyone is looking at their scenarios, maybe we could use some more dementia education for our team. So I do have Cracking the Dementia Code, which is related to the fundamentals I teach in my book. And this is independent online workshop that people can do on their own, or it's in a group format. And I do have some handouts over here on the side. I don't have enough copies. Unfortunately, the printer didn't continue to work for me, but it explains on group education of how I've done this so many times, and many care homes have come, worked with a team. I've actually had one home contract me for a whole year to go to all their sites between BC and Alberta, and in the morning the educational workshop, in the afternoon different staff members, and in the evening while I was there, families were educated on the same processes that I teach on how to manage behaviors. So just, there's other dementia educators out there, but knowing what's out there, I think, is half the battle, just knowing what's available. So these are my opportunities, and the other one is it's the CDCP designation program. So if people want to go further and have a designation of the certified dementia care provider, that's also available. Again, for my company anyways, our goal is to help expand the staff's dementia care knowledge. Really, if we can bring that to them, they will then learn the best practices, and it has to be practiced. Of course, practice makes perfect, but especially around the area of managing those behaviors, such as refusing care, when the triggers happen, what to do, when there's noises, what to do, when there's agitation, what to do, and that's all being taught in the CDCP designation program, and to know that any sort of education needs can be adapted. My company is actually called Personalized Dementia Solutions Incorporated. Everything has to be personalized, whether it is one-on-one families, it is one-on-one in the day programs that I support, on the programming for them, or in care homes, hospitals, independent assisted living. It needs to be personalized to what people need. So I firmly believe that. So we are actually ahead of time. I just realized. So just know that I'm just one of the folks that are here organizing this event, just to bring more awareness to those that are out there providing the support to the older adults that we cherish and we would love to see receive the best care possible. At that moment, I'm going to maybe ask if there's any questions for me before we move forward. Because yeah, we're a little bit ahead of time. I'm sorry I rushed. I was so anxious to make sure we stayed on time. But are there any questions so far about dementia care and safety and what was shared?
So your background, like you said, recreation therapy, but it's also kind of just everyday life. I'm finding like with our recreation therapy programs and that, we've really had to look at how we do things. Things that we would have done as recreation programs don't apply anymore. But I think you'd also be amazed at what people can do. They have reading circles. People don't all lose their ability to read and that. And so between the pandemic and I would say over 80% of our residents are living with dementia at some point in our home. And we've really had to look at what's meaningful to those people, because a big little game isn't necessarily going to work, right? And we think of these common things that happen at homes and that, but it's been absolutely amazing. And so you don't want to kind of bring activities down, but it's kind of how do you make it relevant and talking about experiences and things for those that still are able to, capture that long-term memory.
Absolutely.
There's cues everywhere. Yeah.
I can talk for hours on this.
Yeah,
I love this topic, but yeah, it shouldn't be in any setting. The housekeeping, the recreation, the nursing, the management. We really need to work together. And I always have this vision that, let's say this microphone is a person that is affected by dementia. We need to be standing around that person holding hands. Everybody, whether it's the management, the frontline, the nurses, the doctors, the researchers, the family members, the dietary, everyone, the recreation staff, everybody needs to be together on the same level and working, because we all come with our strengths. The management come with their strengths. We all come with our strengths and abilities. And if you look at it that way, it's just a different perspective rather than the pecking order or the departments. That's your department, not my department. And unfortunately, if there's a spill, I'm not going to call that it's your job to clean up the spills. If there's a safety issue, the spills need to be cleaned up. So working together, supporting one another, recreation to support the care staff to support the recreation, to have these things happening in a day-to-day life. Like it doesn't, for me, yes, some people go out to do an activity and they come home, but there's still activities to do at home. You don't just say that's one-time activity and that's enough. There's still a whole day ahead of you that if some people are interested in doing more, then recreation activities should be included in their day somehow, working together, how are we going to make this work for this individual for their day-to-day. But good points. But it's a mindset shift.
Yeah, it is.
That's recreation's job. It's a mindset shift. It's still human to human supporting.